Hello, and welcome back to Rebooking to Mastery. And with the current book of focus being the obstacle is the way. And so, if you remember from our last episode or before, The Obstacle is the Way is a book about letting whatever is in the way become the way, letting whatever stops our action become the greatest impetus for our action. And the idea that no matter if our actions may be impeded, we cannot impede our intentions or dispositions, as we can adapt and accommodate. And so there are three parts to the obstacles: the way, perception, action, and will. And so this episode is going to put a bow tie on the end of the third part of this podcast, which is will. And so I'm going to start off with something bigger than yourself. So, in desperation, if we're backed into a corner, we find ourselves backed into a corner, we fight with every single breath we have. We fight with every single one of our abilities that we have. We show true strength of will. A question that kind of rises up is why not do this all the time? Why is it that when we are in backed into a corner, when we are back to our last breath is when we actually start fighting with everything we have? What stops us from doing this before? And so this comes into the procrastinator's dilemma. Like, why does the procrastinator wait till the very last second instead of planning everything in advance? Same kind of concept. In society, there is a tremendous opportunity to be heroic, to be someone bigger, to be someone better than who you are right now. And that comes with the idea of principles. So, principles are what define us. They are crafted by our past, they represent our present, and they will define our future. And so, when you compromise on principles, regardless of the physical effect, the mental effect really affects us more than anything because one day becomes 1 week, 1 week becomes 1 month, and 1 month becomes multiple months until you have completely lost something that was very near to you because you gave up on one day. So compromising on principles that are undeniable is some of the one of the worst things you can do to yourself, regardless of how easy it may feel in the moment. And so this comes with the idea of one of the greatest sources of happiness, which is helping other people, contributing to other people's happiness in of itself. So the idea of the I, the self, the ego, is something we should all stop thinking about. It always should come down to unity over self. Because remember, we're all in this together. It sounds very cliche when you say it, but it doesn't detract from the overall meaning. Nothing really in life should interfere with our desires to help others, regardless of what is on your plate or what you are going through. Because, as stated, it simply is what it is. And while you may want to assume or like may try to accuse of not knowing of your individual situation, it's not to demoralize, to minimize, or to underlie or belie what you are going through, but rather to provide a much higher and pure form of satisfaction and happiness, which is the assistance of others. And if you embrace and try to stop going for this rugged individualism that a lot of people or a lot of self-help people kind of try to push towards you, this rugged individualism, this lack of community, this I'm going to strike out by myself and figure out everything by myself, if you let go of that ideal and accept the fact that you are part of a larger whole and you can be stronger for others, others will be strong for you, and you will be strong more than you were before. And so the next step after embracing this idea of something bigger than yourself is meditating on your mortality. So we are but a speck in this universe. Our life is but a speck in the vast expanse of time. Your existence is very precarious. So embracing this can be very, very exhilarating. It can be very, very hard. It can be very, very shocking. Because when you think about your own mortality and understand your days are numbered, it creates a sense of urgency. We all like to think that we are immortal, and we all like to think that our lives have no end. But only as we get closer and closer, and physiologically we start to change, do we notice that our mortality creeps up on us. So if you were immortal, why would you feel a sense of urgency? Why would you feel a sense of fear? This goes into the idea that we are given a sense of mortality for that reason, to give us that sense of urgency. That if we do life, we might as well do life right. And if this idea of death, this idea of the ceasing of existence even has benefit, the one that impels you to continue to move forward, why can't every single obstacle have such a benefit? Remember, mortality is the biggest obstacle of them all in front of us. So if that itself can cause us some positive qualities, can craft a way for us, why cannot every single other thing, every single other obstacle? And remember, you must prepare to start again. This idea of this future pastures where you're going to feel peace is a myth, whether you like it or you don't. Because the more you do, the more that's going to stand in your way. Life is not a sprint. Life is a marathon. And you must keep all obstacles in perspective. You must play the war game, not the battle game, the grand strategy game. The way you must play is you must look at the overall battlefield, not a single skirmish or a single battle. You must flip the obstacle and improve due to said obstacles, not let them impede you. Because what stands in the way becomes the way. And as a master of the obstacle, you will use not only perception, but you will use action and finally will to craft every single thing that stands in your way and leverage it to your benefit. Leverage it to your ability, and you will notice change very, very quickly. Others may not notice it or will not notice it inside of you. But this kind of change is something that you notice inside of yourself. And when you build upon that change, people around you see you more for who you are, not for a mask that you reflect out of society. So this is the end of the Obstacle is the Way series. And so I hope to start a next book on the next episode, and I'll see you guys then. I hope you enjoyed The Obstacle is the Way, and please leave a comment down below if you would like about another episode or another certain book that I could read and analyze. And if you'd like to follow me on all platforms, follow me at Mastery of the Minds on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you guys next time.